Today on Veteran Stand Up, we're talking about supporting organizations that support veterans. And I'm talking with David Vardeman. He specializes in national not-for-profits and sits on 6 boards of organizations that support veterans. Well, David, given your work and who you collaborate with and what you see, what are the characteristics of the best organizations that support veterans?
Well, thank you, Paul. There are 3 main features, and the boards have a clear mission, effective programming, and also stability. And what I mean by clear mission is they're able to clearly state what the not-for-profit is really trying to achieve. An example of that is I'm on the board of a group called Navy Safe Harbor Foundation, and our mission is to help wounded warriors' families and wounded warriors who are violently injured. They suffer burn victims, post-traumatic stress disorder, brain trauma, and or are terminally ill. And it's a very clear mission in terms of what we're trying to accomplish. What we're trying to accomplish is to help these families and help these wounded warriors. And so it's very easy for us, Paul, to go to a donor base and get support for this mission. So it brings great value. And then they can build on the other 2 characteristics, which are effective program and stability, so they really can grow from the ground up. In terms of effective programming, I'm on the board called Warriors Ethos, and Warriors Ethos has just amazing programs. But a lot of groups with effective programming tend to have a primary angel donor, or they have an endowment which supports them. And so the challenge for them is if one of those 2, the angel donor or the endowment, were to exit, then they would really struggle with accomplishing their mission and creating stability. One of the great organizations that I'm on the board of is the U.S. Coast Guard Foundation. And they have very strong stability. And the way they've accomplished that was by having a chairman of the board and an executive director sharing the missions toward national fundraising driven by the board. So there is absolutely no confusion with the board in terms of what our main objective is in terms of fundraising. What can become an issue with that is that sometimes the individuals that are actually doing the donations may not share the same vision or share the same principles that the not-for-profit is trying to accomplish. Therefore, you have these donors that are possibly donating to a foundation or an organization that don't share those same principles. So when we actually publish what our principles are, that may clash. So it's very important to have a balance there in terms of stability so that the mission and effective programs can go on for a long period of time.
Now, I know, David, you're out in the veteran community a lot. People can follow you on LinkedIn and the like, but how else can they keep track of what you're doing? I know you're a volunteer, and so you're accessible to many people who want to ask you questions, for example. How can they do that?
They can go onto LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn and under my name, and you just go and you can ask me a question. You can ask for advice, and I do this voluntarily. So I will get back to you within the same day or within 2 days and begin to build rapport in terms of able to help you. I do help over 30 organizations outside of the 6 I'm on the board of, but I also am helping organizations throughout the nation in terms of their startup phase or a particular initiative that they're engaged in. So I'd be happy to help.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.